Hello everyone, I hope you're doing well. In this series, we're going to cover some basic OpenGL concepts for iOS, and then, so we're going to start with 2D, and then we're going to probably go to 3D eventually. 2D is easiest because once you know 2D, going to go to 3D is much easier since you know the basics. You know the base concepts. But anyways, so we're going to go with open Xcode. I think Xcode is downloadable off the developer site, or I don't think it's on the App Store. But just do a Google search and you'll probably find it. But anyway, so we're going to go to File, New Project. We're going to create a game. We're going to call this my mocking game, because I don't want to call it like my test or something. So this is just a little bit more creative. But anyways, so I'm going to click Next, and we're going to put it in there. This series assumes you have a little bit of programming knowledge. This is not going to be like a beginner's, like teaching you how to program. I'll probably do a series on that later. But for now, this is going to be it's kind of like an OpenGL tutorial for iOS. So if you know a little bit, you could probably get by. But nevertheless, so we're gonna, in this tutorial, this is just gonna be a getting this started tutorial. So we're gonna basically prepping ourselves for the next one, truthfully, because the next one we're gonna be doing some actual stuff. So we're gonna take our, let me undo that. I'm gonna run this on a simulator. So we're gonna take the template provided to us, which is just a basic little 3D example. We're going to take this, and we're going to, since we're going to be doing 2D, we don't really need any 3D stuff, so we're going to just get rid of all this stuff. And we're going to just draw a color to the screen. Very simple, basic. Again, preparing ourselves for the next, for what we're really going to do. But anyway, so deleting those, delete all these vertex buffers. Probably want to delete these variables up here that we don't need. We don't need a normal matrix. And I'll explain a little bit of this briefly in a second. So we can get rid of all of this, leave that blank, leave this almost blank besides this part. Can get rid of that buffered bit, and we can move this up here to set up GL right here. Put that here. This is setting our background color. Well, technically it's not your background. I wouldn't call it your background, but in a sense it is. This is where we set the color, and right here is essentially where it's cleared. That's why I don't call it the background, because it's technically the color that when, so if you're drawing at 60 frames per second, each frame needs to be like wiped clean in order to draw the next frame. So this is the color that it would clear it with, essentially. So we're going to set that to red, because that is because I like red. Anyway, so we're going to set that. We're going to get rid of this part. For now, we're really just deleting stuff, not really doing anything. That's why I'm going to leave most of the explaining to next tutorial, where it really matters and we can really have some feedback from we're going to do some basic shapes so we have something to look at. I'm going to get rid of this. And we're going to go into our shader here, get rid of all the 3D stuff that we don't need. And we're going to get rid of this normal matrix. We don't need that. The fragment shader is fine. And then that should render a nice red onto the screen. There we go. And we can probably ignore that for now. Yeah. What is that actually? I think it's because we stopped. It doesn't matter right now. Anyway, so there we go. So let me explain a few of these things. If you aren't familiar with this, I'm going to just assume, I'm going to just go through it anyway. So right here this is where we set our context, which is basically if you want to do OpenGL, you have to have a context. So we're going to do OpenGL 2 for this one because that is the most supported. ES3 is a little bit more advanced and is not widely supported. It's like only the 5S and the 6, iPhone 6. So, and I think it's like the iPad Air or something. I don't know. Anyway, so we're gonna just use this one because it's the most widely supported for now. So this is where you set your context. This is where our view is set. And our view controller is it's like the manager of our view. This doesn't matter right now. This will never matter for our game because we're never gonna really use this stuff. This would only be useful for you if you were using like an app that required multiple views, like a standard app that's not a game. Basically, it doesn't use OpenGL or anything like that. So it doesn't really matter for what we're going to be doing. So you don't really need to know what this stuff does. All you need to know is, because we're not even going to be spending any time in this class besides now and maybe the odd occasion. So anyways, so this is where we're going to put our drawing code, update code, slow test shaders. Basically what we're going to do in the next tutorial is we're going to make a little bit of a basic structure for our game, or it's not really going to be a game, but for our fake game in a sense. And then we're going to use that we're not going to really see this class anymore. We're going to be spending time in our own custom classes most of the time. So anyways, so that's it for now. I hope you enjoyed this little tutorial, even though it's quite small. And I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.